Welcome to IE's interactive video interview. This month our subject is Bill Steely, co-founder of MicroProse. He's here today to talk about his new venture, Interactive Magic, and their two upcoming titles.
It was '82. We actually were incorporated in December of '82. Fighter pilots play games every day. You give a cadet from the Air Force Academy a ball of string and a piece of wood, and he'll make a game out of it. The game was called Hellcat Ace. It would play in 48K on a computer that was running at 1.8 megahertz. It's got to play, and it's got to be fun. You must make decisions that are time critical with limited information, and they must have significant consequences. That's the formula. You're involved in a world that you're just a player in. You're just a part of. And the rest of the world's going on whether you get on the train or not. And in fact, we'll leave you behind if you're not willing to get on the train. You can sell a lot of games with a great opening animation. Because the reviewers go, wow, and they never even play the game. Luckily, all the Paramounts, Time Warners, Sonys, all those people are really focusing on all the role-playing, all the fantasy, all the movie license, and all the kick-fu games. My guess is next year this time we'll have 40 people. 18 months from now we'll have 100. And 65 or 70% will be development folks. We'll develop and build a $50 million company 3, 4, 5 years from now that does very sophisticated 3D graphics, very sophisticated artificial intelligence, and if you've got a world, we can simulate it and we can allow you to participate. The moment the thing fires up, it fires up in the action mode. And you're going to have fun now. It's going to be like an arcade game, like a coin-operated arcade game for the first couple minutes. There are going to be 4 levels in every game. There's going to be the arcade level. There's going to be the really nutso top 10% level that everything's so real that if you get it off the ground, I'll be surprised. Then you've got the slightly real level, which is just above the arcade. Then you've got the slightly washed up ex-fighter pilot Major Bill level right here. It's amazing how many people come up to tell me they've got the combination of Myst, Doom, and Flight Simulator. Our job at Interactive Magic is to make more of the game accessible to the player early on so that they can see more of it and they can understand the complexity. Because a lot of people are closet gamers. A lot of men love to play golf. I mean, they really do like to play golf. They love sports. Gaming is a form of a sport. I play the games. I'm probably the only executive in the industry who actually plays the games a couple hours every night. I made more money than I ever thought existed in the world when I sold my interest in MicroProse. I don't ever have to work again. My kids and their grandkids don't have to ever work again. So I don't have to do any of this. The market is so exciting and there's so much opportunity and games are so wonderful. Basically, the game is a helicopter flight simulation that we've gone out of our way to improve the 3D graphics. We take all the good parts out of Civilization and Pirates and add some of our own good parts, improve the graphics significantly, and now we'll explore the whole world. It was the first combat simulator for any home computer. Well, MicroProse started off with the worst packaging and the worst graphics and the best games in the entire industry. I knew nothing about retail. I knew nothing about distribution. But in that first year, just getting on the phone and just doing telemarketing, I sold $200,000 worth of software. And we had $30,000 in expenses. We had Hellcat, Chopper Rescue, and Floyd of the Jungle. Sid really came up with microprose because he said, we write prose for microcomputers. I'm a Class B athlete. That means I'm better than the average, but not as good as those world-class guys. But if you put a lot of energy and a lot of heart and a lot of enthusiasm, your Class B can sneak up in the bottom of the A class periodically. You need a musician, you need an artist, and one or two good software people could, in their basement tomorrow, get a great idea, sit around and fund themselves internally as long as they get a real job. And a year from now, they could have something. We took no salary for a year. My wife got paid $4 an hour. So there were no expenses other than Sid sitting on his Atari 800 and me making telephone calls. When our game tester said, golly, this is really fun, and we had to shoo him off to go do something we wanted him to do, we knew there was some interest in. And we were very, very well matched because I loved to play his games, and I was the only one he really could take criticism with, and it was criticism. Everybody else would kind of dance around and G said, no. I'd say, Sid, that's terrible. There's much bigger people in the marketplace, and the size of the customer is much bigger. So the customer has more power, the big players have more power. Software is a gas. It can expand to fill any time, money, or budget. And it can always be better. Interactive to me means I've got something to react with, and what happens depends on my actions. They're 26-year-old males and up. I used to say that my customer was a 26 to 45-year-old adult male. Then I got to be 46. So I had to move the limit up. 3D graphics, artificial intelligence, and my game enthusiasm coupled with 10 or 12 of the greatest game designers you ever had. I think that we will do 50% of our products will come from the outside, but they will all, any of the outside products will have a interactive magic game designer working with them. So I intend to have a staff of game designers who work with our outside developers. There's one, we don't have Sid, but we can't always say that because the agreement's up soon too. But they got to be willing to eat some strange things. I spent 6 or 8 trips going to Japan, eating some of the funniest, wiggliest, ugliest, unappetizingest stuff I've ever eaten, but I'd do almost anything to sell software. I've got a very good guy over there named Comrade Kozawa, who was a managing director for Microprose Japan, and he's no longer with them, and he's going to help me out in Japan, and we'll be selling product in Japan by May.